Welcome to a new video on the Peanut strips. Today we analyze the strip published on October 21st, 1950. In this scene, Schulz continues to outline the character of his characters through a simple situation, but full of subtext and humor. The main characters are Shermy, Patty, Charlie Brown, and Snoopy, each with a role that contributes to the ironic tone of the story. In the strip, we see Shermy and Patty walking together with Snoopy in tow. Charlie Brown, on the other hand, engages in an entrepreneurial activity, which we have already seen in a few strips ago. He sells flowers. The interaction between the characters gives us an example of the subtle, observational humor that makes the Peanuts so unique. In the first vignette, Shermy and Patty walk side by side, with Snoopy following them. Both have serious, uninvolved expressions, almost as if they expect nothing interesting from their day. Snoopy, as he often does, observes the scene with his typical relaxed attitude. This panel sets the scene's context, showing a daily routine. In the second vignette, Charlie Brown appears in the center of the scene, behind a small banquet with a sign, "Flowers for Sale." The flowers, simple but well cared for, evoke the idea of a naive and industrious childhood. Charlie Brown smiles confidently, a sign of his enthusiasm for this venture of his. This moment represents the hope typical of his character, always ready to try something new, though often with unpromising outcomes. In the third vignette, Shermy stops in front of the banquet and says, "One please," ready to purchase a flower. Patty, behind him, lights up with excitement, thinking that Shermy's gesture is definitely for her. Meanwhile, Snoopy sits quietly beside Patty, observing the scene without intervening. This moment represents a sweet and realistic misunderstanding. Patty projects her expectations on a simple gesture, imagining that Shermy is thinking of her. In the fourth vignette, Shermy and Patty walk away together. This final revelation overturns all expectations. Shermy has placed the purchased flower in Snoopy's collar. Patty, disappointed, realizes that the gesture was not for her at all. Shermy, seemingly oblivious to Patty's expectations, shows affectionate concern for Snoopy, highlighting a tender side of his character. Snoopy, on the other hand, continues to walk quietly with a flower around his neck, completely indifferent to Patty's emotions. This October 21st, 1950 strip is a perfect example of Charles Schulz's typical subtle humor and surprises. Patty's expectations of receiving the flower are cleverly reversed when Shermy dedicates it to Snoopy, showing a tender and unexpected side to her character. Snoopy, with his usual calmness, remains indifferent to human dynamics, while Patty faces disappointment. With simplicity and elegance, Schulz manages to weave together emotions, twists and turns, and a touch of irony, leaving room for reflections on the nature of gestures and expectations. And how do you interpret it? Let us know below in the comments.
If you enjoyed yourselves, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the little bell to stay updated, and see you next, friends.